Hello everyone, Roti here, and today I want to share with you my favorite dungeon bosses in Final Fantasy XIV. Now I'm going through this in the order of the expansion in Final Fantasy XIV, and that will also mean I'm only going to be able to pick one boss from each expansion. This video is made entirely by my own opinion, but I would like to hear your thoughts. So type it out in the comment section below which dungeon bosses is your favorite in Final Fantasy XIV. If you would like to see more of these short content videos weekly, why don't you hit on the subscribe button and support me in doing this. So let's start with A Realm Reborn. I have played the dungeons from A Realm Reborn countless times from roulette queues, and I actually find it difficult to name a dungeon that really caught my attention. The early dungeon bosses are way too easy, and that probably leaves us only with options of level 50 dungeons. My favorite here would be Diabolos from the Lost City of Amdapor. First of all, this really excites me because Diabolos was one of my favorite Final Fantasy VIII summon. We call it Guardian Force, right? But what really excites me here is that this boss is one of the harder dungeon boss available in A Realm Reborn. The fight begins with players being able to see doors around the dungeon marked with different icons and colors. Opening both doors will create a wormhole where players will get to move from one end to the other. This mechanic is used when Diabolos casts his ultimate spell, Ruinous Omen, that deals massive damage, lightly wiping your party with low gears. Next up, Heaven's Ward. Heaven's Ward has a lot of cool looking dungeon bosses, but the coolest among all of those must be a dragon. Yes, a dragon. So we are scoped down to 3 bosses. Yeah, so there's Nidhogg, there is Hrisvelger, and Tioman. Among all of those, the winner for me is Hrisvelger. The fight is constantly engaging, keeping a lookout at which platform to stand on while worrying about the flying spirit thing. Also taking into consideration the scenery and background music of this dungeon. There's no better boss fight in the Heaven's Ward series than Hrisvelger. That's it for Heaven's Ward. Right now we're going to look into my favorite dungeon boss fight in Stormblood. I have a lot of favorites here, and I find myself taking a long time to choose my favorite boss from dungeons in Stormblood. After having considered the mechanics, the aesthetic, the difficulty, and the overall experience of battling the boss, I have decided to go for the Mist Dragon in the Burn. Because dragons are cool, yes? Final Fantasy IV was my first ever Final Fantasy game, and the incident in the Mist Cave leading up to the Village of the Mist has always been close to me as one of the most scenic moments in the history of JRPG. I was so young when I played the game, and I killed a mother. I killed someone's mom.
You can't die. Just finish what Dragon did.
The best part of battling the Mist Dragon in Final Fantasy XIV is that it does its signature move from Final Fantasy IV, where it turns into Mist form. Attacking the dragon in this form will cause heavy damage to players while freezing them. Like I mentioned earlier, I have a lot of boss fights in Stormblood that I really enjoyed, and if I get to choose my second favorite, it would definitely have been Xenos in Alamigo. But I only get to choose one dungeon boss per expansion, so let's move on to the Shadowbringer. My favorite dungeon boss fight in Shadowbringer expansion is the Lake Lord Eric Horn from Dawn Mag. The reason is only one, because this boss cast one of the most innovative spell ever in Final Fantasy XIV, the Funambulis Fantasia. This spell creates a gap between the party and the boss, and we are expected to walk through a winding path bridging both platforms. I want a Blue Witch spell for this and see other Montoys suffer. That's it for today's video. Let me know which dungeon bosses were your favorite from each expansion in the comment section below. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.